The UFC returns to London, England on March 22nd. We also have... I made a bit of a card builder. Not really. I just had a bunch of good fights you can add for this card. Not a card builder, because I think it's unrealistic, but a bunch of good fights you can have for this card. And we also have Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Kamaru Usman is finally in the works, which is good. And then we also have UFC's informed that the old gloves are coming back, which I kind of want to break down towards the end of this video. Let's start first, though. The UFC's returning to England. London. UFC's returning to London, England. London, we are back in prime time. Our UFC London return is official for Saturday, 22nd March, which is interesting. I like this. The O2 Arena, obviously, which is cool. They come here every year. They haven't been to London for a bit, so it does feel nice to see a London event finally. I don't think they went there last year. Did they? They might have. They went to Manchester, I know that, but did they go to the UK in March? I'm trying to think. I don't think they did. Yeah, I don't think they did. But they're back finally. It's cool that they're coming to London. But I made a bit of a card builder. Not card builder, just a bunch of good fights you can have for this card, mixed with others. And I have 5 fights you can have for this card. At least 2 of them or 3 of them can be realistically on there. Leon Edwards versus Sean Brady is a realistic fight. Brady's earned a ranked opponent above him. He's earned 2 good wins against Gilbert Burns and Kelvin Gastelum. Dominated both of them. So I think this guy does deserve a good opponent. And I think they're going to do JDM Covington. Because now that Covington's calling him out and no one else, I feel like that's the most approachable fight. So I think this just leaves out Edwards and Brady. Because they're going to do Shavkat Usman now. So I think this will happen. Edwards versus Brady. Maybe the main event. Probably, though. Because, I don't want it to be. Because build-up-wise, it's shit compared to Pimlet versus Moicano. But, they're high-ranked. I think Brady's, number 4. Edwards is number 1. You gotta put them in the main event. And, yeah, that's what should happen. Paddy Pimlet Moicano. Moicano asked for this. Pimlet, I'm sure, will take this fight. It's above him. He has nothing to lose. He probably would win against Moicano. So let's do this as well. Maybe you can have this as a co-main or a main event. Whatever the UFC wants. Give them a spotlight, maybe, instead of Edwards, who has been headlining a lot of pay-per-views. Just lost to Bilal. So maybe as a punishment for losing to Bilal Muhammad, this guy, Pimlet and Moicano, can be the main event. That's another good fight, though, you can have for this card. Pimlet and Moicano. Why not make this for the card? It makes all the sense. Why not? It should happen. I also have Derek Lewis versus Mick Parkin. Mick Parkin, he's now at number 15. Derek Lewis, I think, number 10. Just a fun fight. Parkin could lose. I would go Mick Parkin at this point, getting the job done. He's a lot more skilled than Derek Lewis, but another fun fight you can have for this London card. Maybe it can be on there. Don't think this is all going to be, all on here. But, because they're all ranked, obviously. I don't think they're going to have some unranked guys here and there. Maybe, Obon Elliott's on the main card or something, but if he passes Basil Hafez this weekend, maybe Paul Craig's on here. Usually he's on the London card, so if he wins or loses to Nickel, he can be on here against a hyped guy. This is also a good fight, though. Mick Parkin, Derek Lewis. Then I have Lerone Murphy, Josh Emmett. Great fight. This is another great fight you can have for this card. Not saying this should be on here. Maybe it should be. Maybe it shouldn't. Just another good fight, close fight. I would go Emmett, but it's a close fight. And then, yeah. That's it for this. Honorable mention, Arnold Allen versus Yair Rodriguez. Another sick fight. I think I forgot to add that, but that's another sick fight. Allen versus Rodriguez. Who would I pick in these fights? I guess I can break it down. I think Sean Brady would beat Leon Edwards. Oh, I like Edwards. And Brady's annoying, because I don't want him to get the top, because, he lost to Bilal, and Bilal's champ, and I don't want that rematch. I do think Brady would win, because Sean Brady, he doesn't have to worry about Edwards' power. I'm not going to trust Edwards' kickboxing anymore, unless it's against a guy that's old, like Usman, or shit in general on the feet, like Covington. Brady can out-wrestle him, and he can outpace him. In a 5-rounder, Brady can do exactly that, and I think he would out-grapple Edwards and maybe finish him in the later rounds, because he puts more damage into something on the ground and submissions compared to a guy like Bilal. So I would go Brady here, unfortunately, Edwards fans. Close one with Pimlet and Moicano. I lean Pimlet. Just with the power edge on the feet, I like him there. Pimlet could get out-grappled, but the thing is Benoit. Benoit Saint Denis isn't that great. Like, I don't think he's all that on the ground. You know? And I've said that coming into it. Pimlet's, you can't control him like that. You can, but there's danger. So I would lean Pimlet maybe here. And with a power advantage, chin advantage, I think he can get the job done. He at least has some combos and power, unlike Benoit Saint Denis. So at 50-50, I lean Pimlet. I lean Mark McParkin. I think he wins this. I already said this. I think he's just a lot more skilled than Derek Lewis. I would lean, not lean. Why am I saying I would lean? No. I would pick Josh Emmett over Lerone Murphy. Because Murphy, you can't get hit against Emmett. You're not Ilia Topuria. You're not... Yair's weird. And he had to get like a triangle choke to win. Other than that, Emmett can land. And I think he would... Maybe he would lose and just like miss. But one shot, I think, puts Lerone out cold. And yeah. And that's it. That's about it. Good builder there. Or not car builder, but like lots of suggestions for fights. We move on. I'll break this glove thing at the end. According to our information, Red Corner MMA, the UFC is working on Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Kamaru Usman. In the works for 310, UFC 310. Now, this has to be for an interim title, because I'm not trying to see fucking, with all due respect, Alejandro Pantoja versus Kai Asakura as a main event to end off the year. This has to be the main event. Now, is it the best main event in the world? No. I don't think it is. Build-up-wise, it's just not going to be there. This card build-up-wise won't be there, but when it like comes out to like the card and its results, it will be good. This is the main event. It has to be. Rakhmonov versus Usman. Interim title. Even if it's not for a belt, like, I'd rather this be the main event than fucking Pantoja, man. Like, let's make this happen. I like this fight. Is it the best? No. Should the interim title be on the line? Yes. Just cause for Usman, one last opportunity. He did something. He did the UFC a favor by stepping up against Hamza. And he made it close. And I think that they should give him one. Plus, if he wins, not like Edwards is still champ. Bilal's there, and they have beef, and that's a great fight. And if Shavkat wins, he's right there for Bilal. He was supposed to fight him. So this is what should happen. Shavkat, Usman, interim title. I like it. I would go for Shavkat, just because I think he'd beat up Usman. I think he'd break Usman. On short notice, especially. Full cap, it's interesting. Kind of some thought process there, but short notice for Usman. I know he did well against Hamza, but I don't think Shavkat would out-grapple him. I think he'd work on his stand-up more for that fight. Lose a lot of kicks to beat Usman. And I don't think Usman would out-grapple him. So I don't think Usman would KO him either. Like, I don't think he has the boxing skill like a Jeff Neal does. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. So I'm going to go for Shavkat, breaking down Usman, and getting like a knee to the face finish or like a knee to the body or something just simple, and puts down Usman in like a bit of a scrap. Shavkat gets it done with endurance. And yeah, we move on to the last thing here. UFC's and foreign fighters competing this weekend. UFC 309 New York City. They'll be using the old gloves, not the new ones introduced back in June. And, well, this was earlier, but the reason being was because the New York Commission's behind. It's behind. It's, like, late to the new update. So they have to use the old gloves. It's a coincidence that it's Jon Jones. It's Jon Jones's card. So that's a bit of a coincidence. Because, this obviously eye pokes and shit. Weidman on this card as well. And, yeah. Regardless, I thought Jones would eye poke Stipe a bit in this fight before this was even a thing. But it's interesting. It'll only be for Jones's card. And then when they're back in Vegas, they're back to the new gloves again. So, maybe it's a New York thing. Whatever. Yeah, I just hope Jones gets his face planted in. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Yeah. I got, yeah, cool. Whatever. I think the result will be the same. I don't think this changes much. But, more eye pokes, I guess. Peace.